Hey everybody, it's Julie, and I thought I'd share a video on how to assemble the Christmas Village accordion, although probably if you've done something like this before, it's self-explanatory. Anyway, I've got 5 different shapes of houses. They're the same width, but they're varying heights because I like having that variety of heights. And then I've got 2 different size trees, also for variety, and you'll need to duplicate each tree shape so that you have 2 per tree. And that'll make sense in a minute. But right now I am reorganizing these houses in the order that I want them to go because I want the heights to be varied throughout the accordion piece. And you'll see that each one of these has a little door that'll pop open. And then I've got a score line there for each of the flaps or the tabs. And I'm going to start by creasing the fold line there towards the back, or as what we call a mountain fold. It's away from you. And I'm using a bone folder to crease those fold lines because when you're working with heavyweight paper, it can really help. And this is 140-pound Canson XL watercolor paper. So each house, I'm going to alternate. So one is going to go mountain fold, and then the next one in line is going to be valley fold. So it'll get folded towards me. And then I changed my mind which one I wanted to have on the end. So I kind of reorganized them again. And as you can see, I need to valley fold that one towards me. So I'm going to put that one back there in place. And then the very last house, if you're not going to connect anymore, you can just trim off that little flap so it's not hanging out there when you put this thing together. And then I'm using tape runner, but you could use glue or you could use double-sided sticky tape if you wanted to, but I'm just using tape runner. It works pretty well. And I like to keep all the flaps in the back, so it helps sometimes to fold that down the way I'm doing right here, because when you're working with heavy paper, you're going to have kind of a gap where that fold line is, and you don't want it to buckle when you're accordion folding it. So I find it easier to just kind of flip those over and get them attached that way when I have to work with the valley folds. So I'm just going to keep going until I get to the end. That last one is a valley fold, so I'm going to flip it over that way and then go ahead and fold that flap over the top of the back side of that house to avoid that buckling issue. So once we have all that, I'm going to burnish it down with a bone folder really quick. And then there you can see, I'm going to pop open the doors for each one and kind of emphasize that fold line a little bit. This one has double doors. I love that with all those arched windows. And I was kind of surprised because all my doors ended up being rounded, almost all of them. I like arches, I guess. So there you can start to see that accordion shape taking place. All the flaps are in the back, which I think is ideal for something like this because you probably won't even notice them, especially when you're working with a solid color paper. But if you're using different colors of paper on each house, then yeah, you might notice those flaps. Now to put together the trees, they have a score line running down the middle, and I'm only going to fold and crease one of those trees. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce that with the bone folder there, and then it's going to get glued. I'm going to take glue and run that along the score line on the flat tree, and then that will get glued right on top. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other one folded and ready to go so that I can glue one and then the other lickety split. Gonna go ahead, crease that fold line again with that bone folder, and then I'm ready to apply the glue. And just for me, I just found it was easiest to go down the flat one and just kind of let that nozzle from the glue just go right down that score line. Got a nice bead of glue, and then I'll grab my top layer there. That's folded, and here you can see that it's pretty easy to line them up. All you have to do is kind of flatten out the top one just to make sure that you're nice and straight. And then I'm going to kind of nudge it a little bit if it's not quite in place. And then I will go ahead and fold those, the top layer there back together and just hold it right there for a few seconds to let it set up. And it doesn't take very long, and then you can let go and let it dry the rest of the way. And once they're dry, they will stand up very easily because you have that middle layer or the front layer that's folded outward. And there you can see that accordion shape taking place, and there's the little trees and how they stand up. Now I'm going to flip this over, and you can see it's really hard to see those flaps in the back. But like I said, if you're using different colors of cardstock for each house, then yeah, you'll notice them. But I'm going to accordion fold this, which I think is a fun way to present it. I thought it would be fun to give these. Like, I'm going to send one to my daughter and one to my mom for them to decorate their houses. And they'll love it because they don't take up any space, and they can store them real easy for next year after they've used them this year. Another thing I wanted to mention is that you could watercolor the houses if you wanted to and decorate them that way before you assembled the accordions together, which is just another fun idea. I think I might take one of these and watercolor it before I put it together just to see how it looks. But I did like this really pretty off-white watercolor paper. It just looks so natural and clean and kind of minimalist. I'm kind of a minimalist, so I love those Scandinavian shaped houses that you see, kind of a folk art almost look. And I've got my twine here. I've been using this twine for years. It was a really big ball of twine, and I use it for all kinds of things, but it's great for packaging up this little accordion file and keeping it all pressed down. And then I happen to have these cellophane envelopes that I have on hand. I use them all the time for so many different things. I have them in all different shapes and sizes. I get them from clearbags.com. So good place to stock up on clear bags for stuff like this. And I love the self-sealing envelopes, but I thought this would be so cute to just include in the package I'm going to send overseas to my daughter's family. And there you can see what it looks like all folded up. And there's the houses all in a row. The trees, perfect little trees. You could make a whole forest out of these trees. You could make, man, a little city. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.